Hello, my name is Hamish and I work for Baltic Street Adventure Playground, and today I'm going to show you how to light fires. So, here we've got our kit. Okay, so we've got our kit of all the things that we need to start our fire. We've got some water, we've got some wood, we've got some ropes, we have some Vaseline and cotton wool, and inside here as well is our striker, and we've also got what we're going to start it in. Now this is actually the base of a gilly kettle, which you use for boiling water pretty quickly, and it's quite good for starting fires in because it's got this little hole, which means that air can get to the fire, and that's something that the fire needs to keep going. The only issue with starting a fire in this is that it's got a very flat bottom. You got to make sure whatever you're doing, whatever you're lighting it on, isn't flammable. Like, so you wouldn't want to light this on grass, for instance, because it's going to burn the grass. So the main thing with doing fire with children is how to keep them safe, and that's what our ropes are for. So we're going to use these to make what's called a fire circle. Now the general rule for a fire circle is it's got to be as wide as the tallest person in your group. Now I'm 6'2", so that's going to be pretty tall. So if I lie down, the circle has to be at least this radius, diameter, one of the two, which is pretty big. And the reason for that is, in our fire circle, the rule is you always kneel down. And I'll demonstrate this actually. So I'll put this rope out. So yes, the rule in our fire circle is that we always kneel down. And the reason for that is, if you're standing up, it's easier to fall over basically. So if you're standing up here and you fall over, there's a chance you might fall into your fire. And if you're standing here, if you fall, you're not going to fall into your fire. So the rule is, make sure you go on these in fire circle. Then we're going to have this rope to be our inner fire circle. So if you're working with children, basically you don't want them to touch the fire. And that's what your inner fire circle is for. So you can kneel down in this area, but you just tell kids not to go past this rope at all. And that can be as big as you want it. So you might, when you first start fires with children, keep that really big because you're a little bit nervous. But as you get more confident, you might make it a little bit smaller. I have a bucket of water here, which I'm always going to keep next to my fire. So if anything goes wrong, I can just dump it on, basically. So let's get started our fire. So the fire needs three things. It needs fuel, it needs oxygen, and it needs a source of ignition. So that's what I've got. Two of those three things here, and one of them's all around it. We've got our Vaseline, also known as petroleum jelly, and we've also got some cotton wool. Now these are basically going to act like a homemade fire lighter. So what you want to do is, because petroleum jelly is really flammable. So what you want to do is, you want to get the cotton wool and you want to break it up so it's really, really wispy. And now this is something you can get kids to do and join in at, because they're pretty good at that. To make it super wispy, then you want to get a little dab of Vaseline, and you want to break up your cotton wool with the Vaseline on. So you want to do that a couple of times, and you put it in your pot. And it might be the first time you do a fire, you just do this, but you don't put any wood on it. You just do Vaseline and cotton wool and let the kids watch it, and then you build up from there. Because it's all about practice, and it's all about doing what you're comfortable with. And then when you're done with the Vaseline, just make sure you get a bit of cotton wool and wipe your fingers down, because the Vaseline is flammable. So you just want to make sure that you've not got loads on your hands, basically. So there we've got our Vaseline, we've got our cotton wool. So I want to move this away from my fire because that's quite flammable. So you want to move it over there. Now we're going to look at using a striker. What you want to do basically is put the, this is the flint? The steel. This is the steel and this is the flint. Thanks, Victoria. And then you want to put this flat on your thing, flint, there you go. And then you want to put it at like a 45-degree angle. And that's where you're going to get the best strike. And you just want to do that, yeah. And that'll make loads of sparks. Now you might also want to practice this a bit before you do it with kids. Because it is a knack, there is a knack to it. You just want to do this onto your cotton wool, and because you ripped it up, there's loads of wispy bits. They're there to catch the sparks. And then you just want to carefully place your wood on top of it. So, the last thing that I'm going to throw out to you about today is how do we put out our fire? We've got a beautiful roaring fire, we have roasted our marshmallows, we've had a great time, so now we need to put it out. So we're going to do that with some water. You could also use something like sand to put it out, because that will smother the fire, deprive it of oxygen, and that will also put it out. So when we're putting water on, what we want to do is we don't want to just dump it straight on. Because if you dump it straight on the top, that'll make everything outwards, which you don't really want, because there's soot and sparks and it's not good. So what you want to do is you want to go round in a circle. To put your fire out, so you want to drizzle it round in a little spiral. So that's going to be a little bit hot for a bit, so you maybe just want to use, when you put it out, like just use all your water, like just use it all. If you are starting fires in your local parks or local environments, the Scottish Outdoor Access Code says that you need to not leave a trace. So basically what you need to do is you need to make sure all of your wood and stuff is cooled down, it's out, and then you put it in the bin and make sure you're not leaving any sort of trace there, or any rubbish for other people to find. And that's everything. Thanks for watching, guys.
Can I go before Barbara? What about we both do one that's like a hit? Oh wow! That's so good.